Okay, we're recording.
Hi guys, I'm here with the one and only Elizardi Castro. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you for asking.
If you've ever seen any of his shows, what do we have? We have Made in Puerto Rico, Cafe Cool.
It started out with Malcriado. That was my first one.
Malcriado, do you even do that anymore?
No, I retired. Malcriado, then Made in Puerto Rico, then Law and Disorder, then Capicu, then I'm No Romeo, and now Solo. It's my 6th one-man show.
So tonight you're doing Solo. What do you like about this show?
Solo is great because it deals with something that a lot of us talk about, but not enough. Lárgate! Espera!
So it's a show about being single.
It's a show about being single and accepting that, right?
Oh,
accepting
wow.
being single and accepting strength in being single, and also strength in discovering what you want to do, what your passion is, and following it against all odds, right?
Are you single?
Yeah.
He's on the prowl, ladies.
Yeah.
You are a lawyer by profession.
Yes, I am.
What made you go into law?
My parents.
Literally?
Literally my father and my mother strongly agreed.
But did you have a passion for that? What about law attracted you? Anything?
Nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing. My grandfather, his father, built houses. Mm-hmm. So my father became an engineer. And he felt like it was my job to be a lawyer. And so I did what I felt I had to do. But I didn't see myself just doing that
Never.
the rest of my life.
You never did?
No.
Are you an only child?
No, I have an older sister and 2 younger brothers.
And what do they do?
My younger brother is a lawyer.
Okay.
And he's a true lawyer, like, real legit. Like,
what's the difference?
Firm that he cares about it.
Okay, he
that's
loves
the
it.
difference.
That's
He
his
loves
passion.
it. That's his passion. He loves dressing up in suits and going to court and reading.
So you could have saved some money and just let him do it.
He didn't know, right? If God had told me what he was gonna do, that would have been what I told my father. I would have been like, "Bobby, don't worry about it.
Right.
God's taking care of this. You don't need me." You know what I mean? But we didn't know.
Was it during your time in law school that you decided to go into comedy, or was it after?
It was actually during. It was actually while I was studying. I felt like, this can't be it. This can't be what I'm gonna be doing. And I started reading stand-up comedy books. And once I graduated, once I became a prosecutor and I actually was working as an attorney, I thought, I gotta do something for me. So I gotta take everything that I studied and put it into practice.
How did you start?
I just wrote stories about growing up in Puerto Rico. And then I had this little home theater in the clubhouse in the apartment complex where I lived. And we built a little fake curtain with PVC pipes and cloth. And
Puerto Ricans can do it all, I'm telling you.
We stitched the curtain together, and we had a boom box playing the music, and my cousin was controlling the light switch to make it seem like
That's awesome.
theater lights. And we did it. We just put up a little show just for friends and family, 20 people.
So how did it get from that to now you're working with a manager, right? It's Mike Oquendo.
Mike Oquendo is a comedy producer out of Chicago.
How'd you
primarily.
meet him?
I went to Chicago because my brother was studying there. He would soon be a lawyer. I didn't know that. He was producing a comedy show by another comedian. And so I saw the show, and it looked a lot like what I was starting to do. So after the show, I climbed over all these rows of seats to try to get to him on stage before he left, as people were exiting, right? I said, "Excuse me, I have and I couldn't get the words out. I was like, I have, you see the, me too. I have a show, it's like this." And he cuts me off, he goes, "Call me Monday." So I was like, okay. And my brother was there. He's like, "How'd it go?" I was like, "Perfect." It went really good. And just like I imagined. And I called him Monday and I pitched him the show. And it was a big blessing because he booked it.
Wow.
And he gave me Valentine's 2009. I'd never seen the show. I never read the show. He just had a feeling. And we sold out 300 and whatever it was, 30 seats. First
How'd you
time
sell
ever.
out? Nobody knew who you were.
The combination of his reputation and that's it, because back then there was no clips, there was nothing.
Wow.
So those 300 plus people that went really were checking me out for the first time, and then it just took off. I mean, then word of mouth got out. You know how we
Yes.
spread. Our word of mouth counts because we never stop talking.
So what do the next 5 years hold for you?
I don't know, because I don't look too far ahead. I look to see, what I can do now, how I can perfect this show now, how I can continue to, make it better.
Plus, you're still a practicing lawyer.
Plus, I'm still keeping my parents happy. And I'm a practicing an attorney. I usually just say if I stay busy enough, the road ahead will kind of, materialize. Yeah, I don't look too far. God knows where I want it to go, so I kind of let Him kind of dictate that. I'm busy, kind of putting the bricks down.
That is so smart, because so many people say I have these huge goals, and then they don't do anything in the present.
No, because they just stand there and look ahead.
Yeah, and look at the goal.
But
That's my goal.
That's it right there.
But they're not doing
anything. That's it right there. Oh, look how good it looks.
Yes.
That looks good right there. Right there. Right? And then when they come to look down, they go, oh, but it's so far.
Yes.
I just, it's kind of like the mentality of when you're running long distance, and they say, when you approach a hill, don't look at the top, just look down. And really, when you're looking down, it feels as if you're running on flat ground. And before you know it, you're at the top of the hill. Don't ever approach a hill by looking at top of a hill, because your legs are gonna feel it. So it's mentally, it's just a way to I remind myself, just look down. You have enough work ahead of you right now to focus on. Don't worry, that'll take care of itself.
That's so good.
Yeah.
You don't know where you'll be in 5 years, but do you have a goal or something that something that you can say, I would like to do that. These are some things I want to accomplish in the future.
I want to have my own show on TV.
Yes! We can do a show together. I want to have my own show on TV too.
Absolutely. There you go. Yeah.
Like a talk show, or what kind of show?
No, a situational comedy show.
Oh, yay! Yes. And you'll write for it?
I want to write for it and be in it.
Yes, that's so needed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so
needed.
I appreciate it. So, that's the end goal. But until then, really, when I take the stage, I am creating that. Mm-hmm. That is the show that you're watching. You're just inside the television set with me.
And you're all the characters.
I'm all the characters. So, which is great. So hopefully when that time comes, God willing, I'll be able to make that transition a lot smoother, because instead of me talking for my father, talking like my mother, then I can just cast them.
Do you find that some jokes land in some places and other places they don't?
When we went to Texas, they had never seen Puerto Rican or Spanglish stand-up show ever. Clean for the family. So it really does feel like they're sitting in their living room, and they'll talk back in the middle of the show, and they'll talk to man, wait there, look.
Really?
That was funny. Listen, that's you. They're talking about come on, shh, I paint. Or I'll be talking, they'll be like, yup, that was me, that happened to me. Yeah, that's true. Papi, were you there? And I'm like, bro, I can hear you. It's not TV. We're here together.
Wow. Who are your comic heroes?
Truly, my heroes are relatives in my family, that I grew up admiring. And so there was never a comedian that I could say I want to be like him, because no one really does what I do, right? No one gets up and speaks Spanglish. No one gets up and speaks about both cultures and assimilating into both cultures. Nobody does it in a clean way. So I model myself, by my uncle, Tio Luciano, a man that could, sit and gather, the whole family can gather around him and he can entertain them. His son, my cousin Esteban, very animated, very physical. When he would just hang out, it doesn't matter what he was saying. And so I grew up watching these people. My Uncle Kelvin, and how energetic he was. And so I would grow up wanting to be like that, emulating that. And so those were kind of my, comedic heroes growing up. Awesome. And they still are.
And they still are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your son, who looks exactly like you.
I don't see it.
Exactly like you.
I don't see it.
What does he want to do when he grows up?
He says he wants to be an inventor.
That's what my son says. Yeah. They should be friends. Yes, my son actually said that.
I want to be an inventor. And I'm like, okay. I said, listen, you could be anything you want. And I mean that. Yeah. Not like my parents. My parents didn't mean that. You could be anything you want. I go, what about a comedian? He's like, I'm already a comedian. And I started laughing. He's like, see, I just made you laugh. And I laughed hard, and he's like, again. To me, yes, education is important, but what's more important is being able to discover your passion and pursue it.
Absolutely.
And that's the message that I convey in solo. I convey that message very strongly. Find your gift, Find your true calling and go after it. Let the pursuit of your dreams define your life. We'll all be better for it. That's it. That's actually how I end the show. So I just gave you a little preview. So when you get
gave you a little preview.
when you watch it, you're gonna be like, wait a minute. I already know this. I already know this. Hello. I already know this. You're moved by it? I'm not, because I already heard it.
Why are you crying?
Look, dry. Seco, look, nothing. My makeup is perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Guys, if you want to hang out with Elizardi Castro online, on his shows, anywhere, you can find him at elicastro.com.
Elicastro.com.
You can find him on Facebook. You can find him on Instagram. You can find him on LinkedIn.
MySpace.
You can find him on YouTube. Catch up with Elizardi Castro. He is hilarious. If you haven't seen any of his shows, go to his website. His whole schedule is on there. Make sure that you see him live. He is so funny, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to live a life without limits. Having a niche is overrated. Just create. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
I was 5 seconds away from pulling something. I felt it. I felt that tremble. I felt that tembleque.